Rossibytes.
So in this video, I want to go through the process of using ChatGPT to see if it's gotten any better at website design. So what I did was I thought of a fictitious company. I want to create a company called Higher Grounds Coffee. And I was like, I want to see if ChatGPT can actually help to generate a website just with simple HTML and CSS by providing some inspiration from images from a different website. So what I did was I went out and I looked for themes for a coffee website, and I came across this one here that I really kind of like the look and feel of. So you can see we have the header here, we have a navigation menu with a search bar, we have a hero image here, some icons here for different things like shipping and payment methods and customer service. We have categories, we have some recommended products, and then we have kind of our footer at the bottom here. So what I did was I used an extension for Chrome called Go Full Page, and I'll put a link to this in the description of the video. But essentially what this extension does is it will go through and crawl this entire web page and save it as a single file, high resolution. Then what I did was I used PhotoPea, that's PHOTOPEA.com, which is essentially a free version of Photoshop that you can just upload that image to, and I broke the site down into individual sections. So what we're going to do is we're going to use ChatGPT, the GPT-4 model, so that it can look at images and create code based off of those images. And we're going to use CodePen to do the HTML and CSS and see our results in real time. So I'm going to come over to ChatGPT and begin with a fairly complex prompt. But one of the things I've really learned about using ChatGPT is the more detailed your prompt is, the better results you'll typically get in the end. So I'm not going to read through this entire prompt, but basically I'm telling ChatGPT that it's an expert web designer and developer. I want it to recreate a website design based on images that I'm going to give it, and I want it to produce HTML and CSS. I'm then coming in and telling it the name of my company. I'm telling it a link to my logo that I've created, and I used Dall-E to create the logo. I'm then telling it that the page is going to be divided up into a total of 6 sections, and I'll provide you with each section as a separate image file. I'm giving it the URL for the hero image that I want it to use. I'm then asking it to provide me HTML and CSS for those individual sections separately. I'm telling it that it can use SVG icons if it requires the Font Awesome library, and then to also please tell me how to include that in my HTML for reference. If it does, I'm giving it the right to select fonts that fit our brand and enhance the overall style of the site. And then I'm essentially going through and telling it all of the different sections that I'm going to be uploading, the image file name, and then a brief description of what that image is representing. When we get to the categories, I'm telling it what I want the categories to be named, and I'm providing links to images to use for those category icons. And the same thing for products. I've come in and I've given some product details along with images. Now what I did was I used this imgbb.com, and you can come here and just click Start Uploading, and you can drag and drop your images, and it will basically give you public URLs that you can use to access those images. So it's essentially hosting your images for free. So I've gone ahead and defined all of those images for the products that I want. And then I'm simply ending by saying, begin by asking me to upload the 6 sections of the site, one at a time, and generating the appropriate HTML and CSS in separate files. With each section upload, append the 2 files with the new code for the new sections. So we're going to go ahead and click Send here and let ChatGPT process this prompt. So I'm just going to click Send on my prompt here. It's updating its memory. Okay, so now it's asking me to upload my section_header.png file. So I'm going to go ahead and take the section_header and just drag and drop it onto my conversation here, and then send that over. You'll see the reference image here. Okay, so that generated the header section. So what we're going to do is just come over and simply click copy code on the HTML. We're then going to come over to CodePen and paste that HTML in here. And then we're going to do the same thing for the CSS. And as you can see, we have a header section now. I noticed that my logo is rather small. Now, I could ask it to go in and actually change that for me, but I would wait for it to type out all the code. So what I'm going to do is just come and do like 120 pixels, for example. Okay, we can go even a little bigger than that, I think. So we'll do 180. Yeah, that's better. So now if we come back over, it's asking us to upload our section_hero.png. I'm going to drag and drop my section_hero.png. Okay, so for the hero section, we're going to copy this HTML, come over to our pen, and underneath the header close tag, we're going to paste in that section. You'll see that it's put it down here. Now we're going to come over and grab the CSS for that. I'm going to paste in the updated CSS. And you'll see now we have our hero image, and we have the text overlay headline and the subheadline, and the Shop Now button along with left and right if we had an image carousel. So far this is coming together pretty well. And now it's asking us for the section_icons.png file. So I'm going to drag and drop the section_icons file, send that over. Okay, so we'll come up and copy the HTML for the icons section. Put that right underneath the other one. We'll also grab the updated CSS, paste that in, and then we'll scroll down and we'll see that we have our icons here with the free shipping worldwide, cash on delivery, special gift card, 24/7 customer service. Okay, next it's asking us for the section_categories, so I'll go ahead and drag and drop that image. Send that over as well. Okay, so we're going to come over and copy the HTML for the categories section. Paste that in. We're going to grab the CSS for the categories. Paste that in here. I'm going to scroll down. We have, it's got a hover zoom effect as well. That's nice. I like that. Cappuccino, cafe mocha, espresso with a view more option. Next, it's looking for the section_products. So we're going to drag and drop that here. Send that over. Okay, so what we're going to do is come up again and take the HTML and the CSS and paste them over into our pen. So we'll click copy code. Come over under this section, paste that in. Copy the CSS over. Then we'll scroll down. We'll see our categories again. Now we'll see our product images along with product names and discount, strike through pricing. This particular image looks like it is not coming through. So let's take a quick look at the code here. And that's because the HTML is missing the P at the end of this URL for the image. Now you'll see that that's coming through. So last, we'll come back over and it's asking for the section_footer. So I'm going to drag and drop that out here as well. Okay, so we're going to go ahead now and copy the final block of HTML here for the footer. Paste that underneath our last section. We'll then grab the CSS. Paste that as well. And then we'll scroll down. And we'll see our footer here. Not too bad looking. It looks like it's going to be looking to do the payment methods using an image here that is not currently hosted on IMGBB. But what ChatGPT did was it looked at what I've been using for all of my other images and then just made some assumptions. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to ask it to use actual paths to payment methods that I have, but create individual icons for the different payment methods. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm asking it to redo the payment methods section in the footer to use icons like the social icons. And then I'm saying below are the links to all of the payment methods. And so what I've done is I've gone and gotten all of the images for the various payment methods I want. And I've uploaded them to imgbb.com. And we're going to go ahead and send this off. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to go into our CodePen and find where this div class is being defined and then replace the HTML that's currently there with this HTML. So we're going to go ahead and click copy code. We're going to come over into our pen and we're going to find this div class equals payment methods. So we're just going to get rid of this and replace it with that. And same thing for the CSS. We're going to copy this code. We're going to look for the payment methods CSS, which is right here. And we're going to paste that in. We'll then scroll down and we'll see the various payment methods being mentioned here with their icons. Now, obviously, those are huge and you would not keep them like that. But this is a good example of showing how I was able to go in, revise my prompt, and ChatGPT goes and actually makes the modifications on the fly. So finally, next what I'll do is I'm going to click Save on my CodePen here. And then down in the bottom right, I have an option here to open a live view in a new window. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And we can see the website coming up here. We can see our icons here. We can see our categories with the zoom hover effect. We can see the recommended products here. Now, one thing I think I want to add for the recommended products would be an add to cart button under each of these products. So I'm going to come back over and I'm going to say, please add an orange colored add to cart button under each product on the page. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to copy this HTML code and basically come over to CodePen and find where this code currently exists and just replace that with the new code. So we have div class product right here. So we're just going to replace everything from the opening div tag to the closing div tag for the products themselves. We're going to paste that in here. And then for the CSS, we're going to copy these, come back over into here, and add in the add to cart rules. We'll click save, and then we'll come out and refresh this. And we'll now see that we have add to cart buttons that have a hover effect with a slightly darker color under each of the products. So as you can see, this has gotten way better than it used to be. You used to have super rudimentary HTML and CSS. Not that this is anything fantastic, but I love how it's actually doing hover zoom effects. It's automatically doing hover effects for the buttons with a lighter and darker color theme. And it's also doing the hero image with text overlays for you. Obviously, you would change this Shop Now background color so that it stands out more. The logo could stand to be centered a little bit better with the other parts of the header here. But for what this is, within probably, 30 minutes of work, I was able to just get this website up and running with very little knowledge of HTML and CSS. So I would say it has grown by leaps and bounds, and this makes creating websites for beginners a lot easier than it used to be. So one of the things I noticed through this whole thing is I never validated that the search box was actually in the header section, and it wasn't. So I came back and told ChatGPT that the search box was missing. So it basically said, let me add this code back for you and give you the HTML and the CSS. I then came over into CodePen and put the code in the proper places. So now if I refresh my storefront, you'll see that the search box is here with the search icon. And if I go ahead and scroll down, the rest of the site still looks the same. Now, I said something about making it responsive as well. So if I, come down and scroll here and kind of shrink my browser down, you can see all the elements are resizing accordingly based on the form factor getting smaller, and nothing is really falling into lines where it doesn't belong. Everything still looks pretty good.
Rossibytes.